When you look at this matchup on paper, Celtics versus Trailblazers, it should have been a total walk in the park for Boston, a top contender against a rebuilding team. But, oh man, what we actually got was a full-on thriller. It went from a comfortable cruise to a desperate fight for survival.
The entire story of this game, it really just boils down to one number: 23. That's how many points the Boston Celtics were leading by. That's a massive, seemingly insurmountable lead that somehow nearly vanished into thin air. So how on earth did we get there?
So, in the beginning, it was all Boston. It wasn't even close. They came out with that championship swagger, The ball was moving, shots were falling, and they just completely overwhelmed that young Portland squad right from the opening tip.
And what's really interesting is how one player just decided to own all the big moments. I'm telling you, if the first half had a name, it was the Payton Pritchard show. The guy put on an absolute masterclass in clutch shooting before anyone even had a chance to think about halftime.
And this right here just perfectly shows you that early dominance. Picture this, the clock's ticking down in the first quarter. 3, 2, 1, and bam! Pritchard just drains this long three right at the buzzer. The crowd went absolutely nuts. And just like that, Boston's up 32-11. Total control. But here's the thing. If you thought that was his big highlight for the night, oh, you were so wrong. The guy was just getting warmed up. He was saving a little encore performance for the end of the second quarter. Can you even believe it? He does it again. Time's running out and he hits this absolutely beautiful, high-arcing fadeaway from the lane. Just an incredible display of skill and pure confidence. So the Celtics, they just jog into the locker room up 52-37, looking completely untouchable. At that point, the game felt over. Done. But it wasn't. After halftime, man, something just shifted. Portland came out of that locker room with this renewed energy on defense, and Boston, well, it really looked like they took their foot off the gas. All of a sudden, every single possession was a grind. That easy Celtics cruise, it turned into a frantic scramble as the Trailblazers actually started to believe they could do this. And you can literally just feel the momentum swinging. That massive 23-point lead, well, it gets sliced all the way down to just 10 points by the end of the third. Then, in the fourth, Portland just keeps chipping away until it's a 5-point game. A total nail-biter. You could feel the tension in that arena. It was thick.
So this is the question that's on everybody's mind, right? Are we about to watch a historic collapse? Is it even possible for a lead that big to just poof, disappear in the final minutes of a game?
And that brings us to the final minute, 60 seconds. And it was just pure, unadulterated chaos. This is where Portland threw literally everything they had at Boston, and the Celtics, they had to find some way to stop the bleeding and avoid what would have been an incredibly embarrassing loss. Okay, so let's break this down, because that final minute was heart-stopping. First, you've got Jeremy Grant for Portland just muscling his way to the hoop. He scores and he gets fouled. Okay, he misses the free throw, but they grab the offensive rebound and Grant scores again. The lead is cut to 5. It really feels like the game is slipping away. But then, Derrick White steps up and hits a cold-blooded three-pointer. And if that wasn't enough, on the very next possession, he just rips the ball away for a steal that finally sealed the deal. And that was it. The Celtics escaped. You could almost hear this collective sigh of relief wash over the entire building as that final buzzer sounded. They hung on to win, 102-94, but wow, it was anything but the blowout we all thought it was going to be. So, in a game with such wild swings, who were the players that really made the difference? Let's take a quick look at the key performances that shaped this roller coaster of a game. Okay, you have to start with Payton Pritchard. 23 points and those 2 absolutely unbelievable buzzer beaters. He's the one who built the lead that Boston almost coughed up. Then you had Jaylen Brown, who chipped in a solid 20 points. But really, the hero of the night has to be Derrick White. His 18 points included those huge game-saving plays in the final minute. And for Portland, you got to give credit to Jeremy Grant. 19 points, and he was the absolute engine of that incredible comeback attempt. Of course, the action isn't only on the court, right? There were a few other fascinating little storylines happening on the sidelines that added another whole layer of intrigue to the night. And first off, let's give a huge shout out to the fans because they braved a major snowstorm to pack the arena. And they gave former Celtic Jrue Holiday this massive standing ovation after a tribute video.
The whole building was also just buzzing with that Boston sports energy, you know? You had Patriots owner Robert Kraft in the house celebrating his team's Super Bowl trip, and you even saw the new Celtics owner, Bill Chisholm, sporting a Drake Mace sweatshirt. And speaking of Jrue Holiday, his return is actually a perfect window into the business side of basketball. See, he was traded away largely because of the NBA's second apron luxury tax. It's basically this massive financial penalty for teams with really, really high payrolls. It's just a fascinating little reminder that sometimes the toughest decisions in sports are made on a spreadsheet, not on the court. So, what's next for these two teams? Well, for the Celtics, they're continuing a 5-game homestand, and they're hosting Atlanta next. I'm sure they're hoping for a much less stressful night. As for the Trailblazers, they hit the road to take on Washington, and you gotta think they're looking to build on that incredible fight and resilience they showed in the second half. And all of this really leaves us with the big $1 million question. A win is a win, sure, Boston got the W. But what does a game like this, a near collapse, truly reveal about a team that has championship hopes? Is it a sign of resilience, that they found a way to win even when everything went wrong? Or is it a massive red flag that a top-tier team could get that complacent? That's the real question, something for them and for us to think about.